What's up everybody, welcome to the third part of this tutorial series on how to speedrun Undertale, Neutral and TPE. So let's get straight into it. I'm gonna be covering Waterfall in this video. So over here you wanna optimize your movement. So when those come down on you, you wanna move up a little and then down again. So we just go in here, you mash. So when Papyrus stops talking, you want to walk to the right, because you need to move there. And we just mash here as well. And you split here when you can walk again after the monster get dialogue. You can save here, it doesn't, you don't really need to. So we do the flowers thing here. It's just, this is the path for the flowers. This is pretty straightforward, everyone can figure this out. But now we put a slight step down, and then we encounter Aaron. We flee from Aaron. We flee from most encounters, really. Then the flowers again. This is the actual path for these flowers. You put 3 of them down here. It doesn't make any difference what order you pick them up in. And then the 4th one you put down there. Then we get a phone call. We just mash. Doesn't make any difference if we say no there. And then we encounter Washua here. We flee from Washua as well, of course. And you just want to pre-mashing Z to open that. So now we get this Pierce 1. You'll want to do the best you can to dodge this. Most of it will be just walking a straight line. You automatically move up and down on corners like that. When they go in front of you, you want to walk back like I did. Like that. That's really all I have to say about Spears 1. So over here you shouldn't get hit by the first 2 spears. By the first one you shouldn't get hit. It's possible to get hit by the second one though, so be careful with that. So you just walk right when Undyne is gone, and you mash through the monster get dialogue. You would split here when you can walk again after monster kid. You can save here. I would recommend, I don't know if saving there makes any difference. You might want to save. I'll come back to saving there in a second. So this is where the actual fun part of the run begins, because we are gonna get a punch card. Need to pay attention to not interact with them twice. I left punch card. Please. There we go. Because if you interact twice, you get 2 nice screams, which is not a good thing. So, when you exit this room, you can just do 1 step left and open the box. So oh god, what am I doing? I did it wrong. Let me do that again. Okay, so you come out of the room, put 1 step left, open the box, put 3 items in, go right, and put the 3 items back. Quick note. If you are doing TPE, you want to do the 3 items in, but if you're doing neutral, you want to put 2 items in because you don't have to buy in neutral. We do this because we want to have the punch card in our first inventory slot. The punch card is an item that lets you skip most of the cutscenes in the game. It's really overpowered. We just smash through this phone call. And then we get 2 mold smalls here. Want to spare those, because those are always mold smalls. So now we get to the first actual punch card skip, which is the onion sand skip. So I'm gonna save here. What you want to do for the punch card is you press the direction you want to go in and control at the same time. So you move tiny steps. Every time you move, you want to open the punch card. This is what it looks like. It says please come back, and it lets you skip cutscenes like I said. So I'm gonna let's show you what it does quickly, and then I'm gonna go through this in detail. And I failed it. Let me try it again. And that's onion sand skip right there. So let me walk you through this in more detail. So you just walk here, you keep on walking, and when the bottom tentacle touches the path you're walking on, you want to start buffering. And what I mean by buffering is putting tiny steps and opening the punch card. So you saw I failed it. I've actually failed it twice practicing. I'm a little rusty on it. I haven't ran neutral and TPE in a long time. So when you hear that sound and you see the tentacle move down, you want to move right immediately. Because this is what happens if you don't. I'm going to show you. So what happens if you don't move or you don't move enough? You can soft lock. Like, that's soft locking. If you don't move enough, or if you move too slow, you soft lock, and the first dialogue shows up. And with soft locking basically means you can't move anymore. And that would rip the run right there. And that's also why I would recommend saving in the room with the punch card. So what you do is you just buffer like I did, and you should be good. And then we just move on here. So you can move up and down here, it doesn't make a difference. We flee from Shiren. And here's another skip. If you are not amazing at this skip and you can't get it perfectly, I would recommend not doing this skip. I usually don't do this skip as well because if you don't get it on one try, you waste more time than you save. So what this skip is punch carding there. So Monster Kid starts talking. Don't mash away that dialogue. You mash it away when the next dialogue comes up, which is here. And he can walk. This is the next skip. I recommend doing this skip because this skip works timing based and not actually what I'm trying to say, position based, because you can basically just wait there for a second and he will just start talking when you open the punch card, no matter what. There's more dialogue here. So in this room you want to press up, right, and down because it makes you walk faster. If you stop holding up and down, you walk slower, as you can obviously see here. And if your keyboard doesn't support more than 2 key inputs at a time, you won't be able to do this. Just keep holding right then. So you want to keep holding up, right, and down here. So this is a kind of hard skip. I don't recommend doing it at all if you're new to this. But it's a skip. You can do text overflow. And I am not gonna go into detail about text overflow in this video. I'm gonna go into more detail about text overflow on the next one. You can save here if you want, by the way. Okay, you can kind of copy what I did there, but it's hard. It's really hard if you're starting off, and I'm not gonna explain it with such a simple skip. So over here, there's a skip as well. You want to pay attention to the thick lines at the bottom, the more black lines, and you want to count 3 of those. So 3 from the right, that is. So you see 1, 2, 3. I found my spot, and you want to keep paying attention to that line. When you are above that line, you want to buffer. I actually miss it. I stopped buffering too early. I mean, I started buffering too late. I wasn't actually paying attention this time. So there's my spot. And I know when I'm past it, so I don't have to wait for the audio cues. But you can wait until you see the blue things. And then we just do the puzzle here. Well, it's not really a puzzle, but you just move through here. And I'll show you the path, of course. And you walk back when the spears end, when you're at the end of the path. You mash with X and Z here. Well, now I can see another. This is the only part in neutral where your name saves time if it's a single letter name. And it doesn't save a second. So that's why I'd never use single letter names in neutral. So now there is a non-necessary skip. I want to go over it anyway. This is called Jesus Frisk. If you walk over a path, like over this thing, on a diagonal, and you leave it on diagonal, you can walk on the water. I'm not gonna go into further detail. It's just an easy skip. You want to save here, because Mad Dummy's coming up. It's just a useless skip, and you don't want to come back to it if you fail it. But yeah, it's just for fun, really. So you can get astronaut food here if you need it. You also have ice cream already, so keep that in mind. That heals 15 HP. So for Mad Dummy, we keep on sparing. I'm at 16 HP actually because I didn't interact with the save point, but it's fine. You dodge those and we go into the middle there. This is all gonna be very fast paced, so you need to pay attention. You just keep mashing Enter and Z when he talks, so you spare immediately. Dodge this, hit that, hit him with these. That's the second cycle, and with cycle I mean the attacks he does. The perfect way to do this is a 5 cycle, but you can only miss 6 cotton balls for that, which is basically impossible. So you're doing really good as well if you get a 6 cycle. 7 cycle is fine. You're still pretty bad if you getting 8 cycles. So we got past the second cycle a second ago. So hit that, dodge that, and hit this. That's the third cycle. Hit these like this. I'm gonna heal in a second because I'm at 6 HP. If you go below 10 HP, well actually if you go to 5 HP, I'm not gonna heal actually, I'm gonna keep the example going. Because he deals 5 damage, right away dodge that, hit that. 4th cycle. That might have been the 5th, I don't know. Yeah, that was probably a 6 cycle. Yes, it was a 6 cycle. So he deals 5 damage. So if you go below 6 HP, you want to heal. Your ice cream should be in the bottom inventory slot by now. Apparently it isn't. I don't know. It should be in the bottom right then. So I thought it was in the bottom left because I was thinking about neutral. In neutral you don't have the pie, so the ice cream replaces the pie, which puts it in the bottom left slot. Keep that in mind. So when you get past phase 1, phase 1 is the part of the fight with the cotton balls. Phase 2 is the part of the fight with the rockets. You don't have to hit him anymore at all. You can just stand here. I like to actually make those miss him just for fun. You can just stand here and do nothing. You will probably die, but you know what I mean, and you would still win the fight. So you want to go in this, you don't have to go into this corner, but when he's about to throw the knife, you can go in there. It just makes it a little easier to dodge it. And then you just go below him so you don't get hit by the tears. And we keep mashing Z and enter. So we mash here, and then we can move on. You would split when you can move again. So I'm gonna save here because this is a skip that saves 2 to 3 seconds, maybe a little bit more. But I'm gonna make an arrow here to show you what pixels I'm talking about. So when Frisk phase is about the pixels is on the 2 dots. Wait, it's not yet. You want to buffer, and then you can walk away from this. If you're not confident with the next part, next skip I'm gonna explain, you want to save there and not do this skip at all. So, the next skip I'm gonna talk about is wrong warping. Wrong warping can be really hard for people. Because what you do, different wrong warps are executed differently, of course. So for this wrong warp, you go into the room, go back, go up to that wall, keep holding up, press Control, start holding right, do this, and then when you press use, you want to let go of the keys and mash away the punch card as fast as you can, and then you wrong warp. And wrong warping basically means teleporting further in your room than you would usually would. This one saves about 5 seconds. I'm going to execute it quite quickly now, so you can see how it would actually go on a run. So you just need some practice with that. So we don't actually activate the mushrooms, we just use the path because you can use it anyway. And we know the path, you just need to learn the path. It's quite easy. Same for this room. Activate this lantern. So we get a Tammy here, we flee from that. Also, I forgot to mention why you shouldn't be too confident in wrong warping. Because if you don't mash away the punch card fast enough, you soft lock. And you can't progress anymore, and you need to restart the game to your save, and you'll load your save point, which can be very far back. So we interact with that Echo Flower, and we mash away. So now we get to another wrong warp. This is an upwards one. What you want to do for this one is not go into the next room, line yourself up perfectly. You'll need to figure out in debug mode how to line yourself up for this one. I can't really explain that. Hold right, keep holding right, open your inventory. I mean left, obviously. Open the punch card, start holding up, and you wrong warp. If you do correctly, I didn't because I was too slow. So you wrong warp all the way to this part. I'll show you a little comparison of how much time it saves. It's all of this way you save, which is a lot. So I'm gonna save here quickly. So this is another skip. This is quite an easy one. You see this pillar I'm above on the bridge? You want to line up with that. When your feet are above the are past the end of the pillar, you want to open your punch card, and that skips this monster get on the bridge scene. And you just walk out of the room. So for this one, there are two methods. You can either go with this one, which is double PCE. It's hard. It's not that recommended for beginners. I'm just gonna show it off quickly, and then I'm gonna explain. Okay, so that was the skip. I'm gonna lower my game volume real quick. Okay, I lowered it. So I won't recommend that for beginners because there is no safety for that at all. If you fail it, your run is over. Because if you just walk into that first trigger and you get the cutscene, the save point appears. So you would save here, and if you fail the skip, you just reload your game and try again. And then you go into this trigger. So I like to line this up with when Frisk's hair goes above this, I start buffering. And with this, I mean the curly part on my left. So that will get it quite consistently for you. It did for me at least. I just felt my buffering there. And then so what you do for this, I'm gonna explain it. So you line this up with the thing, like I said. Then you leave the room, you go back to the room immediately. Then you line up Frisk's neck with this black line on the ground, which I'm gonna point an arrow at it. You line up Frisk's neck with that, and you wrong warp. So left menu up, wrong warp. Then what you do is you walk, you go under the W and you walk back. And that is how we do one cycle Undyne. You keep challenging her I think it's 5 times, yeah. You challenge her 5 times, and you just dodge the attacks. Okay, so I actually accidentally challenged her 6 times. That's not what you want to do. Before she does her special attack, let's say, which is the last attack of this phase, you want to spare. So we mash while going here. You want to walk immediately, and of course flee like I did. And you get 1 cycle on that. With cycles, I mean attack phases, because she usually has 3. We only do 1. Also, if you don't stop under that W, you'll get a 2 cycle. So for this, you want to line up with the tiny pixel you see right there. I'm gonna point an arrow at it again. When the top layer of Frisk's hair is underneath that, you want to start buffering, and you just walk away. Also, a quick note, if you fail this skip, you have to give her water in TPE. In neutral, it's not necessary, because she dies if you don't give her water. And for TPE, you can obviously kill nothing, and that water is necessary for her to survive. I actually triggered it. So if you don't give her water in TPE, the run is over. If you don't give her water in neutral, it's no big deal. And you would split here when you leave the room. But as you can see, we have arrived in Hotland, and I'm gonna leave that episode there. I hope you enjoyed. I hope it helped you. Next episode is coming up soon. But for now, I'm gonna say bye, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!